If this is your first time tuning in to Keys to Maryland, welcome, but you missed some things. This video is kind of a part 2, so after this episode, I advise you go back and watch the MMP episode to make it all make sense. If you're back for a second, third, or more time, thank you for locking in with your girl. We're going to dive right into some jurisdiction-specific down payment assistance programs in Maryland. As we talk about these jurisdiction-specific down payment assistance programs, I want you guys to remember that all of these programs are either state-specific, city-specific, county-specific. The first one we're going to talk about is Montgomery Home Ownership Program. It is a second lien, so what that means is that your mortgage takes priority, and then once your mortgage is paid off, that's when you start to focus on this loan. It's 40% of the 1003 borrower income with a maximum total of $25,000 per home. These funds can be used for down payment or closing costs. There are loan to value requirements, which are the same as regular MMP products. All Maryland mortgage programs require home buyers to take a home buyer education class. Now, this down payment assistance program cannot be used in conjunction with any other products. So the original MMP loan, yes, but not other down payment or incentive product. In order to apply, you need to talk to a lender. Your lender will confirm your eligibility for the Montgomery products and the MMP overall and will make sure you meet all requirements, such as attending the right home buyer education class. Lenders will review factors such as your income, credit history, and employment situation when considering your application. Home buyer education classes are available throughout Maryland and online. Okay, sticking in Montgomery County, let's talk about the Montgomery Employee Down Payment Program. This is also a second lien. The requirements are that you must be a Montgomery County government employee and you have to bring 1% of the sales price to closing from your own personal funds. And this cannot be used with any other down payment programs. Those two fall under the MMP specific down payment assistance programs. In the city of Gaithersburg, there is a City of Gaithersburg down payment assistance program. The funding for that is up to $40,000 in down payment and closing costs. Applicants may receive closing costs and or down payments assistance with incomes up to 120% of the area median income. And area median incomes can also be found online on the Montgomery County website. Funding maximums are established according to housing size. So you get up to $25,000 if you are at or above 81% of the AMI. If you are at or below 80% is when you get up to $40,000. The requirements for this is that you have to be a first-time home buyer. Your credit score should be around 620. Applicants must have lived or worked in the city for at least 1 year prior to the date of the application. And this program has actually been updated recently. So starting July 1st, 2025, applicants must also be working with a Maryland Mortgage Program approved lender. That's a big deal because not all lenders are MMP approved. There are priority populations that take precedence when it comes to this program. And to be considered priority population, you must be a K through 12 Montgomery County public and private school employee, a City of Gaithersburg full-time or permanent part-time employees, police officers, fire safety employees, or veterans. In order to apply, you must submit the DPA pre-application to housing@gaithersburgmaryland.gov. Pre-applications are only used to determine eligibility. It does not guarantee that funds will be received. If you pre-qualify with the city, you will need to take a HUD-approved first-time homebuyer counseling class. You have to get approved by an MMP lender for Montgomery County starting July 1st, 2025, and the loan officer will submit your required documentation to city staff to be reviewed. And then from that point, it is between the lender and the city to figure out if the funding is going to come through. There's one more product in Gaithersburg that I want to talk about, and that is the GHALP loan. So with this loan, it's up to 10% of the sales price in assistance funds. You have to be a first-time home buyer. Your credit should be about 620. Lived or worked in the city of Gaithersburg for at least 1 year prior to the date of application. This restriction does not apply to priority populations, and you may receive assistance with incomes up to 120% 120% of the AMI. So if you are a priority population resident, you do not have to have lived or worked there for the last year. It could be that you just got this job in the city of Gaithersburg and you can now apply for this assistance loan. Funding maximums are established according to what neighborhood you are living in Gaithersburg. In Howard County, there's the Settlement Down Payment Loan Program. The requirements for this is that you have to be a first-time home buyer. There are income limits which are subject to change every January and July, so you have to make sure that you're keeping up to date with the county website. You have to bring $1,000 of your own money to closing to apply towards settlement or down payment costs, plus 1 month of your mortgage payment needs to be in your savings account. You have to have a fixed rate primary mortgage loan, and you're required to participate in pre-purchase counseling. This loan is deferred, which means that it's due upon sale of the house, refinance, or default. The benefit with this is that it has low interest rates. You're about 2 points below the primary mortgage interest rate. And this one is offered on a first come, first served basis. So when the fiscal year resets is when the funds reset, and that's probably when you want to get to applying for this. In order to apply, you have to complete an application with an approved lender. The lender reserves your funds directly with DHCD. The lender will send all the required documents, including your application, to DHCD for processing. You should contact a participating first mortgage lender to begin the application process. In Anne Arundel County, they have what is called MAP, the Maryland Assistance Program. This program is a community second. You receive up to $50,000 to be used as needed for closing costs, down payment assistance, and or mortgage write-downs. You can use it in conjunction with FHA loans and Department of Housing and Community Development, DHCD. This program grants you up to $50,000 to use as needed for closing costs, down payment assistance, or mortgage write-downs. It is deferred and due payable upon sale or transfer of property, or when the property ceases to become a primary residence. So if you decide that you want to rent out your property, you're going to have to pay this off first, or in 30 years, whichever one comes first. The requirements for this program is that you are a first-time homebuyer. There are no credit requirements, but you will need to attend ACDS homeownership counseling, and you may not have a household income greater than 100% of the area median income. You have to occupy the property as the principal residence. You cannot apply for this with a non-occupant co-borrower. The ACDS application can be downloaded online and dropped off to their main office in Annapolis, Maryland. Okay, so we kind of touched on this a little bit, but let's get into the Prince George's County Pathway to Purchase program. This program allows $25,000 in down payment and closing costs. You do have to be a first-time home buyer. There are purchase limits, which is a maximum of $448,000 for resale and $485,000 for new construction. Pathway to Purchase is a 0% interest deferred payment loan, and it does apply to any residential property. That's resale, foreclosures, short sales, new construction, whatever the case is, as long as it's a residential property. This loan is forgiven after 10 years, but if you sell prior to those 10 years, you do have to repay it. As of March 1st, 2025, Pathway to Purchase available funds are $304,434.24. It is available while funds last. To get started with Pathway to Purchase, you do have to get approved for a loan first with a lender, and then your lender will send documentation to the Pathway to Purchase program for review and consideration. The City of Laurel has a specific down payment assistance program, and it's called First Time Homebuyer Assistance. Every year, the City of Laurel allows a $60,000 grant from the city's budget to offer $5,000 each for 12 first-time home buyers. So the requirements, of course, you have to be a first-time home buyer. Settlement on an eligible home by eligible purchasers must take place between July 1st and June 30th. You fully occupy the home within 60 days of the settlement date. It has to be a primary residence for at least 3 years after the date of settlement. Neither the home nor any portion of the home may be rented during that time period. The aggregate household income of all owners at the time of settlement can be no greater than $100,000. Application is open until all funds are fully distributed, and applications must be submitted through the online application portal. The City of College Park has a Live and Work College Park program. This is actually funded through the College Park City University Partnership nonprofit organization, or CPCUP. It grants up to $20,000 in down payment assistance and closing costs. The requirements are that you're at least 18 years old and employed by an employer in the city of College Park. You have to be a purchaser of a home in College Park for use as a primary residence. You cannot already own a home in College Park. The funds can only be used for down payment and or closing costs. And you have to agree to follow program instructions and abide by all provisions of the loan. The way to apply for this is you download the program guidelines and application online. You get approved for mortgage. You find your home. You complete and submit the application for review at least 3 weeks before settlement. The application guidelines include a signed verification of employment, a ratified contract of sale executed by both parties, a copy of the signed mortgage loan application from the lender, and a copy of the appraisal from your lender. There is a $100 loan origination fee that has to be paid from the borrower. Hagerstown has what's called Home Store, and it grants $3,500 to go towards your down payment and closing costs. You have to attend the You Can Be a Homeowner workshop and schedule an appointment to meet with your housing advisor. The home must be occupied as a principal residence. This program applies to Washington County. In Washington County, it is a 0% interest unforgiven loan, and it's not limited to first-time homebuyers. If you are specifically shopping in Hagerstown, however, it is a 0% forgiven loan after 5 years of residency. You can pair this with the state of Maryland CPIP for an additional $2,500 0% deferred loan, and it applies to existing or new construction, and it's not limited to first-time home buyers, but income limits do apply. And in order to apply, you have to contact Hagerstown Home Store by phone. There are several different programs in Baltimore, and I'm going to just touch on a few before we wrap this up. One that I want to point out especially is the City Employee Home Ownership Program. This is specific to Baltimore City, not county, and you get up to $5,000 in assistance. You have to be a full-time, permanently employed individual of Baltimore City, and that does include the quasi-city agencies. You do have to have home ownership counseling and get a certificate from a city-approved counseling agency before making an offer on your home. These certificates are valid for 12 months from the date of completion. Borrowers have to contribute at least $1,000 of their own money to go towards down payment or closing costs. It must be your primary residence. Your mortgage amount for a single family home cannot exceed the current FHA mortgage limit of $731,400. Only works with fixed rate mortgages. Co-signers, cash sales, and owner financing is not permitted. There are no household income restrictions, and it's not limited to first-time home buyers. The way to get started with this is to complete your home ownership counseling and a program application, which you can find at livebaltimore.com. There's also a Baltimore First-Time Homebuyers Incentive Program, and this is up to $10,000, and you can get an additional $5,000 bonus for home buyers who purchase a home they have rented and occupied for the last 6 months, or if you have a disability or a household member with a disability. The only requirements are that you are a first-time home buyer and your household income is at or below the 80% area median income. Baltimore also has a Live Where You Work program, and the way this works is that the city matches employers' contributions between $1,000 and $2,500 for total incentives of $2,000 to $5,000, depending on the employer. There are over 100 employers who have signed on to participate with the Live Where You Work program. So if you head to livebaltimore.com, you will find a list of employers. And if your employer is on the list, congratulations, you are eligible to use this program. These next two programs are very similar. The first one is Buying Into Baltimore, and the last one that we're going to talk about is Buy Back the Block. Buying Into Baltimore is a $5,000 grant awarded by lottery. Requirements are that you do attend a home ownership counseling and provide a certificate from a city-approved counseling agency before making an offer on your home. Certificates, again, are valid for 12 months from the date of completion. You do have to live in this home as your primary residence. You will need to contribute at least $1,000 of your own money, and you must apply for a loan and be approved prior to closing on your home. This is a 5-year forgivable loan. Your mortgage amount cannot exceed the current FHA mortgage limit of, again, $731,400 for a single family home. Co-signers, cash sales, and owner financing are not permitted. There are no household income restrictions, and it's not limited to first-time home buyers. The way to get involved with this program is to attend a live Baltimore trolley tour. From this, 20 home buyers will be selected to receive funds from a pool of eligible applicants. Home buyers must attend and complete all requirements of the trolley tour event. Following the event, the incentive applicants have 12 business days to make an offer on a home. You have to have your offer accepted and obtain a contract of sale and submit required paperwork to be eligible for the lottery drawing. Incentives are budgeted annually for the city's fiscal year, which begins July 1st and ends June 30th. All info can be found at livebaltimore.com. Similarly, there's the Buy Back the Block program. Buy Back the Block, however, is a $15,000 home purchase grant or a $20,000 home purchase and renovation grant. You have to currently live in the grant eligible area for at least 1 year. You have to be interested in purchasing and living in a home in the grant eligible area. The total household income has to be below $100,000 or 120% of the AMI. You cannot currently own any real estate. You must complete a home ownership counseling program. You also have to work with a program approved mortgage lender, and your loan needs to be fixed rate, and you have to contribute at least $1,000 of your own money towards closing costs. The way to get involved with Buy Back the Block is to attend, yes, a trolley tour. You'll learn more about the program online at Live Baltimore. You can take the eligibility quiz, and then you'll be able to meet with program approved home ownership counseling agencies and lenders. Quiz time! How many programs did we just cover? Drop your answer in the comments. After you do that, take a second to wrap your brain around the fact that we have not discussed lender-specific programs. And we're not going to do that because who has the time? However, being that I am a mortgage originator myself, if you want info on lender-specific programs that I can provide, we can have that conversation one-on-one anytime.